85 shows, 34 cities, 23 countries, 11 straight months. That's the BTS Arirang World Tour, and it is the largest tour any K-pop act has ever attempted, by a distance that isn't close. Now here's the number that actually tells the story. Their last tour, Permission to Dance on Stage, was 12 shows in 3 cities. 12! And that was at the absolute peak of their fame. So what changed? Because it wasn't demand. Let's set the table. Arirang kicked off April 9th, 2026 at Goyang Stadium in Korea and runs through March 2027. Stadiums, not arenas, as the default setting. The North American leg alone is over 30 shows. North America and Europe sold out in hours. And it keeps growing, with Japan and Middle East dates still to be announced. This is a routing map that looks like Coldplay or Taylor Swift. K-pop tours have never looked like this. So why hasn't a K-pop group done it before? Start with the thing nobody outside Korea thinks about: military service. Every able-bodied South Korean man has to serve, and it lands right in the middle of a group's peak earning years. That is the single biggest structural handicap in the entire genre, and no amount of global fame gets you out of it, which reframes Permission to Dance on Stage completely. That tour, 12 shows across Seoul, Las Vegas, and Los Angeles, wasn't small because BTS couldn't sell more. It was small because there was a clock running. Jin enlisted at the end of 2022. They were squeezing a victory lap into a closing window. Now that window is gone. All 7 completed service. For the first time in their career, and arguably the first time for any K-pop group at this level, there is no enlistment date on the horizon. No member disappearing for 18 months. That's the unlock, and it's why 85 shows is suddenly possible when 12 was the ceiling 4 years ago. Second thing nobody's done: the stage. Arirang runs on a 360-degree in-the-round design. The audience surrounds the band. And that is a genuinely radical choice for K-pop, because K-pop choreography is built front-facing. Formations, camera angles, fan-com culture, the whole visual language assumes there's a front, and everyone's looking at it from one direction. In the round, there is no front. Every angle is the money seat, which means the choreography has to work from all of them simultaneously. That's not a lighting tweak, that's rebuilding how the show is staged from the ground up. And there's a hard business reason for it. Center stage kills the dead zone behind a traditional setup. Those seats behind the stage that normally go unsold or get curtained off, now they're premium. The venue's official listing says it flat out. The setup increases capacity at every stop. Multiply that across 85 stadiums and you understand why the tour can run this long and this big. Third, where they're playing. BTS became the first K-pop act to headline Gillette Stadium in Foxborough, and the same is true at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, M&T Bank Stadium in Baltimore, and the Sun Bowl in El Paso. That's a pattern, not a one-off. They're not adding a stadium date to an arena tour, which is the standard K-pop playbook. They're walking into NFL stadiums across America as the default venue and being the first act from their genre to ever headline several of them. And then look at the geography: 23 countries, 5 separate Latin American countries, Europe, Oceania, Asia. Historically, a K-pop world tour means Asia, plus a handful of Western cities where the fan base is dense enough to justify the freight. Arirang treats the entire planet as the home market. That's not a scaled-up K-pop tour, that's a different category of operation. Put it together, and here's the actual answer to the question. No K-pop group has done this because nobody could. The genre has a built-in interruption that Western acts don't have, and it has historically capped how long any group can run at full power. BTS is the first act to hit global peak, get interrupted, come back with all 7 intact, and then immediately go bigger than they ever were before. The album backs it up too. Arirang debuted at number 1 with 641,000 units, the biggest week for a group since Billboard started counting units in 2014, and it held number 1 for 2 straight weeks. So the real question isn't whether Arirang is the biggest K-pop tour ever. It is, and it isn't particularly close. The question is whether it's repeatable, or whether it took one group surviving a 4-year interruption at full strength to make it happen, even once. Let me know what you think in the comments. Does anyone else in K-pop get to this scale, or is this a one-off? Subscribe because 2027 dates are still being added.